Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Royal Instinct. Today we'll be looking at a video by Manson describing how to get ahead of 99% of people in the world. I am here to save humanity. I'm here to save you. Most people can fuck off, and if the word fuck offends you, great. Just switch it off. I don't give a shit. I'm looking for 100 people. I'm looking for 100 people who are on the same wavelength of me as me, who want to be part of the elites, be part of the top of the world. If you can't beat them, join them. And then if you do join them, the people I'm looking for have good intentions and want to save humanity. Um, and together, I believe, the 100 people that I'm looking for are of royal blood, are of royal descent, who want to become kings, who want to build empires, become kings, build a kingdom alongside my kingdom, and we will literally be ahead of 99% of people in the world. Let's see what Mark Manson has to say. I'm not a big fan. There's something weird about him that just gives me a bit of a weird vibe, but we'll see what he has to say.
It's simple. If you want to get ahead of 99% of people in the world, then you need to be willing to do something that 99% of people are not willing to do.
You are a marvel.
That's true. You have to stand out. And the number one way to stand out is to become famous. If you're famous, right, people are looking to you anyway. How do you become famous? I advocate for you becoming a subject matter expert. Pick something that you're passionate about. Pick something that you like to do. Pick something that's not work for you. If you haven't figured out what it is yet, I can definitely help you with that. You need to really do something that comes easy to you, where you can rise to the top, be the expert in that field. Other people will see you as the expert. You'll gain fame and notoriety through that way. And once you're at the top, right, that's how easy it is. Once you're at the top, all the business opportunities, all the money, all the women will come your way.
Idea.
Now, I know that sounds obvious, but there's been a bit of a meme with a bunch of videos coming out claiming that they make you more successful than 99% of people in the world. And it turns out it's all the same shit you hear in every other video. Have goals, be more
Remember, I'm telling you, if you want to get ahead of 99%, build fame. Right? Let's see what this guy's got to say.
disciplined, remove distractions, something called monk mode. Are we fucking serious right now, guys? Goals, guys? Goals? That's what Bill Gates, goals, that's what got him there, right? He had some goals. My mailman has goals. My housekeeper is disciplined. Everybody's trying to remove distractions. These things are not something that 99% of people don't do. And monk mode, by the way.
So far, he's not said anything. He's literally just fucking dragging this shit out. Remember, this guy's wasting your time just so you can have more watch time on YouTube. You need to get snappy to the point. If you want to understand how to get ahead of people, I'll tell you straight away. It's like build fame via becoming a subject matter expert in whatever field that you're interested in. Rise to the top, become famous, right? Once you're there, you'll be able to network amongst the elites. That is the map that you need to follow.
Have you looked at the most successful people in the world? There is nothing resembling monkish behavior among them. Because let's be real, if an action is common, i.e. if you can literally get on YouTube and find hundreds of videos telling you to do it, then it's not gonna make you more successful.
Most people on YouTube want you to be trapped. They don't want you to progress. They want to be the authority, and the people who follow them, they want them to stay below them. I'm different. I don't even want a fucking following. I'm looking for 100 people, right, who want to be an equal to me, right, and together as kings we will rule the entire universe.
Successful than 99% of people. By definition, to be more successful than everybody else, you need to do what everybody else does not do. Here's a harsh truth for you. When it comes to success, the productivity hacks, the morning routines, most of this shit doesn't matter. And to prove my point, I'm going to share with you some of the basic habits of some of the world's most successful people.
Yeah, to get to the top, you have to be a unique individual. You can't follow, someone else's course and easily become a carbon copy of that person and then think that you're going to become successful. The world doesn't work like that anymore. It might have worked in the past, but it doesn't work like that anymore. What I suggest is you work with someone. Doesn't have to be me, right? If you don't like me, great, fuck off. But you still understand what I'm trying to say is find someone who can help you, point you in the right direction, where you find your passion, so you can work at something relentlessly without it ever feeling like work. That's how you beat procrastination, right? Remember that, right? All these procrastination hacks, right? You need to find something that you're interested in, become the expert at that, and it doesn't feel like work to you. So therefore, you'll never be procrastinating because it's like, oh yeah, of course I'm gonna fucking do that thing because I really enjoy it. You'll never have to worry about procrastination again. Okay, so find something that you like to do. Once you do it, right, you learn everything about that subject, record your whatever your ideas are on that subject, and as you progress, you'll build fame, a following, you become the expert. Once you reach that level, all the opportunities come your way: money, social opportunities, business opportunities, dating opportunities. The hottest women in the world want to date an expert, right? Not some person who learns pickup.
Willing to do. Complicated. So let's get into it. If you actually want to be more successful than 99% of people, you have to, 1, have a contrarian idea, 2, be correct about that idea, and 3, execute on it.
Okay, I'm gonna keep this on this page just quickly. Have a contrarian idea, be correct about that idea, execute on it massively. He's right and he's wrong. Okay, you don't need a contrarian idea, right? You need an idea that fires you up, because you can have a contrarian idea, right? But then if it doesn't excite you, you're not going to do nothing, okay? And therefore, it's not going to propel you to success. So the idea being contrarian, and by the way, for those people who don't know what contrarian means, it just means it means having a idea that's opposed to the mainstream. It's like having an anti-mainstream idea, right? That's what contrarian means, is you're going against society. Okay, you just need an idea that you're passionate about, because the passion is what's going to propel you forward, right? Steve Jobs didn't have a bunch of contrarian ideas. He had ideas that he was passionate about, that he was willing to work at. Okay, just make sure you have that idea in your mind correct. Be correct about that idea. Life is about failing, right? It's about progressing, um going into something that you don't know how it's going to work out, right? So you're literally going into the unknown, right? And in the unknown, you have to test your theories. As you test them, you see if they work or not, right? So your idea doesn't have to be correct, because if you feel like it has to be correct, you'll never make any progress. You test your ideas in real time, get feedback, and then you reflect back and see, okay, can I make this correct? Can I make this better? Why didn't it work? How can I make it work in the future? And this is how you come to a solution. You have to be a scientist. You have to do these experiments, right, in a contained environment. Test your ideas in real time, and then you'll see if you become correct eventually. So again, don't worry about having to be correct. It's like you'll test your ideas, right? On your journey to being a subject matter expert, you'll test your ideas along the way, and you'll figure out if it's correct or not because of the results you'll get. Even if you fail along the way, if you document your ideas, people will be rooting for you. Be like, oh my god, this guy is fucking. He's taking action. He's doing something. Because no one in the world's doing anything, by the way. Everyone's just watching fucking TikTok and Instagram reels at the moment, right? People watching YouTube shorts. It's like you're the only person taking action. So therefore, if you're taking action, people are rooting for you regardless. You're literally contrarian just by trying ideas that might fail. Okay. Execute on it massively. I agree. That is one point I agree on. It's like just have an idea that you're passionate about. Be willing to test your theory until it's correct, and just execute massively. So point three, I'll give that to Mark Manson. That is, out of 100, that's 33%. That's a fail, by the way, but we'll give it to him. We'll give it to him.
Massively. Let's start with number one. Most people don't ever have a contrarian idea in their life. Let's be honest. Most people just kind of go with the flow and agree with whatever their friends tell them is cool that week.
That's fucking horrible.
But there is a significant minority of people in society that will think for themselves and come up with some contrarian.
Yeah, because this whole thing about contrarian ideas is like what if you're wrong? What if you're contrarian? Like flat earthers are contrarians. Like, do you want to be part of a flat earth society?
Ideas or buy into some batshit crazy theories. Which brings us to number two. Of all the people that have contrarian ideas, the vast majority of those contrarian ideas.
Do you get what I mean? Like now he has to preface it by be correct. It's like fuck correctness. Because having to be correct will put so much fear into you. It's like you're testing you who you are is a combination of whatever goes on in your head, right? Your ideas in your brain. You have to test them in reality, right? The more you test, the more feedback you'll get, and you'll be able to see what's correct. Okay, so but he's trying to put fear into you that you have to be correct about your ideas. How would you know? You have to test it in real time.
Ideas are not going to be correct. They're going to be horribly wrong. They're going to be embarrassingly wrong. This is actually the most difficult part of achieving insane amounts of success. You have to disagree.
He says it's the most difficult part. It's only difficult if you worry about the outcome. You have to test your theory and be willing to fail your way to success. That is the correct mindset to have in life. Is you be willing to fail your way to success. And if you're able to fail your way to success and not worry about looking stupid, you'll more likely find the correct solutions that you're after. I think it was Thomas Edison who said, someone asked him about, failing of 10,000 times about, he was trying to make the light bulb and he failed 10,000 times. And the way Thomas Edison saw it, his perspective on life was, well, I figured out 10,000 ways of how to not make a light bulb, which means the next way I do it will be the correct way. That's the correct mindset to have.
With everybody and then be right. And even if you happen to disagree with everybody and be right about it, you have to be willing to execute. You have to put your ass on the line. Now, when we look at super successful people, we tend to focus on that last part. What's his morning routine? What sort of supplements did she take? Execution gets discussed most of the time because it's easy to observe. It's also easy to replicate. So why?
Execution is just about, you have to, in your life, find a way where you can replicate conditions for you to do it, right? So, for example, my mission right now is to find 100 people who are on the same mission as me. Okay, I'm actually broadcasting out into the world for it's like a Avengers Assemble. I'm looking for the 100 people who understand what the fuck I'm talking about, who are in the same wavelength, where we can become kings and build a kingdom alongside each other, where we take over the world as elites, as experts, date the hottest women, make the most money. The way I'm executing on it is I'm making a couple of videos every day on YouTube. I'm sending this message out, and the way I've done it is that I'm gonna set my studio up. I'm gonna get a video, talk about it for half an hour, and I'm just gonna see whatever comes to my mind. I don't script these fucking things. I just say whatever's on my mind. Okay. What you need to do, all right, is I'm telling you, if you want to be successful, if you want to be an elite, become a subject matter expert. Okay. If you don't, right, you'll literally be living in a pod. You'll be eating fucking bugs, fucking stupid vegan food. You're gonna end up poor, sexless, have no children. What I suggest is the only way to survive is to become an elite. So you're better off joining the elites, and then as a good person, make the correct decisions for the course of humanity.
Idea.
Jobs was Steve Jobs because he believed a full decade before anybody else that one day a computer would sit on every desk and be in every office in the entire world. And he was correct about it. Warren Buffett, every morning, goes to the McDonald's.
By the way, who gives a shit if fucking Warren Buffett eats McDonald's? Warren Buffett looks like shit, right? If you want to know about, if you want to know something interesting, and on YouTube I can't say, because it gets censored if I was to say the truth. But read a book called The Franklin Scandal, right, which is about a scandal that happened in Omaha in the 80s, where Warren Buffett is from. Come draw your own conclusions. That's it.
Drive-through and gets the same piece of shit breakfast that you and I look down on. How is he not dead yet?
First of all, no one looks down on a McMuffin. Like, it's actually a fucking tasty breakfast. Eggs, egg bacon, egg sausage, cheese. You can't go wrong, mate. I remember I went to like this summer school once, because because I was a ethnic minority. They thought I needed extra English help, so I went to this summer school. But every morning they would give us McDonald's breakfast, and that's the first time I ever had McDonald's breakfast, and I thought it was the fucking tastiest thing in the world, mate. Like literally, like that. Those are some happy memories that I have of a bacon egg McMuffin or sausage egg McMuffin.
Warren Buffett is Warren Buffett because consistently he has identified companies that were extremely valuable that most other people.
The thing about Warren Buffett is, could you replicate that now? He was someone who spent a lot of time gathering information to make good decisions on good companies. Pre-internet, right? So he was willing to dig into financial statements, into annual reports, and find the information that can give him the edge. That doesn't work anymore because his methods are being replicated by quantum computers. So Warren Buffett has the advantage of starting at a time when no one done it, and now he's reaping the rewards, and he's able to maintain parity. But in today's society, that just doesn't work. You're better off gaining fame because that is what the currency of today's world is. It is fame. Even the fact that we're talking about Warren Buffett, why are we talking about Warren Buffett? Because he's the most famous investor in the world. Charlie Munger is his business partner, who's less famous than him. It's Warren Buffett is the more famous person, right? But alongside him was also Charlie Munger. But no one talks about Charlie Munger. People who know about Warren Buffett eventually get to Charlie Munger, and those people know him. So if you're someone who knows Charlie Munger, is 99% 100, I'm betting that you came across Warren Buffett first, because he's the face of Berkshire Hathaway. And later on, it's like Charlie Munger is seen as like the real brains. Do you know what I mean? Because of there's a book called Charlie Munger's Almanac, and his hero was Benjamin Franklin, who was a polymath, who knew a little bit about everything. And but yeah, so I think it's like a cool thing to talk about Charlie Munger, but the real person, even in this video, they're talking about Warren Buffett. So it is the fame that trumps everything.
Thought sucked, and then he bought them, and then he sat around eating fucking McDonald's and drinking Coca-Cola and waited a few decades, which, by the way, is another thing most people are not willing to do. And now he's the greatest investor.
Yeah, because people don't have time to wait decades anymore, right? Life is changing so quick, right? We live in an age of AI now, right? We have AI technology, we have virtual reality coming. It's like we don't have time to fucking sit around for a decade to see our investment portfolios grow up. It's like, no, become famous, attract money, right? The money will come to the people that are famous, who can gather attention. Okay, everything else will sort itself out from there. That's how easy it is.
Of all time. Execution is overrated. If I can do one thing that will 100x my results, then the other...
Okay, even this example of Moneyball, that baseball, I've seen that film, it's a great film. It was the first baseball club to use data statistics to drive its decision making. Then everybody else started doing it, and now then it became a thing where it's not special anymore. Okay, they were the first people to do it. So even if you are a contrarian, right, if you're seen to be correct about your contrarian idea, it becomes mainstream, like that, right? Fame doesn't give a shit about contrarian, because stupid people are famous. Right? If you are famous for being a subject matter expert, whether it's contrarian or not contrarian, it doesn't matter, you're famous. Then you can direct society into whatever direction you want, because you already are now a person who's seen as a person of value. But yeah, like it's
99 things don't really matter. But people don't like hearing this, because it is unbelievably hard to find that one thing that is going to 100x your results. They almost don't exist anywhere. So instead,
he just said, "Oh, being contrarian is really important," but then he said it doesn't exist anywhere. So what's the point? It's like you're better off just focusing on the things that your mind can focus on. And if you have something that you're passionate about, say if it's skateboarding, right? You can focus on skateboarding, become a subject matter expert on skateboarding, right? Add your own personality to the journey of discovering the information of skateboarding, right? Now you're guaranteed to become a person who's interesting, a person who people would want to go to as the authority for skateboarding. And if you are that person that people trust, you're guaranteed to become famous. Once you're famous, all the opportunities will come your way anyway.
we make videos about, morning routines and shit to eat. As if like eating the same meal that Kobe Bryant ate before basketball games is gonna make you play basketball like Kobe Bryant. Which, by the way, I actually have what Kobe Bryant ate before each of his basketball games. Orange or grape soda and a pepperoni pizza. Big Kobe Bryant fan. Look, execution is necessary, it's just not sufficient. And 99% of the advice that you're gonna get out in the world is about execution. The hard
When it comes to execution, it's more about being consistently executing rather than just executing something, right? If you can be consistent, if you can do it repetitively, you'll figure out what works and what doesn't work. If you just do it once, you have no data point, you have no data set to compare yourself against.
hardest part about achieving extreme success isn't the work. Anyone can put in the work. It's being a correct contrarian. It's the willingness to question widely held assumptions. It's the ability to look at alternatives or opportunities that most people can't be bothered with. It's the ability to adopt unpopular beliefs and then stick to them when people start making fun of you. We forget that Steve Jobs had legions of haters throughout the 80s and 90s. Hell, he even got kicked out of his own company for
You need haters. If you don't have haters, you're not making a mark in the world. So if you are looking to become someone who's at the top, someone who has a king, someone who is an elite, if you want to join me and my crew and be a king, build your kingdom, expand your territory, you're going to have to attract haters. But don't worry, you have me alongside you to fight off those haters. You don't have to be the strongest in the world. You don't have to be the toughest. You just have to have a vision of life. And I believe life should be like life is too short, right? Like you only get one life. We're all gonna die. And if we don't get to experience life at the top, what the fuck was the point? Do you know what I mean? Like before, when when my parents grew up, they came from a village in India. And they came to the West. Like they lived their dream. Do you know what I mean? Like they lived life for what they thought was the top. But the world has moved on now. Like now we don't live on Earth. We live on the internet, where we all countries don't exist on the internet, right? Like the like the world is connected now. You should be at the top of the internet. You should be at the top of the world. You should be on top of society. It should be you making the rules. Millions of pounds, millions of dollars. And it should be me and you partying up, mate. Do you know what I mean? It should be us on a yacht. Fuck Leonardo DiCaprio and Drake. Fuck all them cunts. Like it should be us partying.
being a fucking psycho. Seriously, I just want to like stop this video and appreciate this pizza.
As a fat bastard appreciating that pizza.
If you look at the biggest breakthroughs throughout human history, they were all correct contrarian ideas. At one point,
Yeah, but for every correct contrarian idea, you have millions of failures that were contrarian ideas. His whole thing about this contrarian idea is like, it's pissing me off because it's like what we're trying to get at. It's like you have a fucking, you set a goal in your mind and you try different ways of getting there. And whenever you get to wherever your goal is, that's the moment you are correct. Okay, like him being, oh yeah, like the way he's explaining it, he's not even explaining it correct. He's probably thinking it the same way I'm thinking it, right? But he's not explaining it the correct way. He's saying before you try to do the thing, have the correct contrarian idea. You don't know what the correct way is until it fucking works. Do you get what I mean? Like the Wright brothers didn't know that their plane was going to work until it worked. Right? Steve Jobs didn't know his iPod was going to work until it worked. He could have made the iPod. It could have been a fucking failure. And he had to go back and then try again. Do you get what I mean? It works when it works. You have to try 1,000 times.
point, every single one of these ideas sounded ridiculous. And at every point, somebody very, very famous said, that's not ridiculous. I think I can.
Yeah, he's got a picture of Thomas Edison there. And Thomas Edison tried 10,000 times to make the light bulb until it worked. Right? So it's not so you have to be willing to try until you get it right. Okay. If Thomas Edison made 10,000 light bulbs, right? You should make 1,000 YouTube videos until you hit correct. And if you make 3 videos a day, within 1 year, you'll get it right.
Do it. If I'm being honest about my career, I have worked very hard over the last 15 years.
Mark Manson is someone who talked about dating, was the first person to make a entertaining blog that people liked, and he was able to capitalize on it. He wasn't contrarian, right? He was doing what other people were doing anyway. He was just a better writer, a more captivating writer than other people. So he wasn't contrarian. He got lucky.
I've sold millions of books, thousands of courses.
He sold millions of books because he used a very provocative title before it became cool to make provocative titles. So he was one of the first people to do it, and he probably copied the meditation called "Fuck It." Again, he was just lucky. Don't think that this guy is anything special. That you could be much better than him very quickly.
Toured the world multiple times, speaking in a dozen countries or more. 90% of the results really came down to 2, maybe 3 correct contrarian ideas I had.
He had no contrarian idea. No, 100% he had no contrarian idea.
At the right time. The biggest
and he's a fat bastard eating that pizza.
The most obvious of which was writing Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yeah, and the only reason it basically, that book, if you read it, he stole all the Stoic ideas, he stole all the meditation ideas, he stole all those ideas, and he just put a cool title on it. Right, the one thing that he was a contrarian about, he put the word "fuck" on the book. That's why it sold lots of copies.
I mean, at the time, the conventional wisdom was that millennials actually weren't interested in self-help.
No. The 4-Hour Workweek was a self-help book that sold millions and millions of copies. He's talking out of his fucking ass. He's trying to divert what he's doing, right? The reason his book sold all those copies was because of the title he put on it, right? The orange cover with the subtle art of not giving a fuck made him a millionaire. He was a lucky cunt who got very, very lucky very quickly. And now he's sitting there with his fucking pizza and his fat face, thinking that he's a cool guy.
Men weren't interested in self-help, but I had discovered
men were always the more interested in self-help.
Over the course of multiple years blogging that this wasn't true. You just had to communicate with these new audiences in a different way.
All he communicated was the title.
Everything else I've done is either footnote or just a continuation of that or 1 or 2 other.
He just got lucky. Imagine this. Right, and I think I'm done with this guy now. This guy thinks he's something special, right? There's something more interesting in what you have to say, right? More valuable to society than what you have to say. I read that book. It's nothing special. It's nothing that I've already read in a Ryan Holiday book or Marcus Aurelius Meditations. He just kind of grabbed all these pieces of information and condensed them into the subtle art of not giving a fuck. Ha ha ha. Because it had the word fuck in it, the subtle art of not caring wouldn't have sold as much, but he put the word fuck in it. What a lucky prick. Do you agree? Am I wrong? He's a lucky prick. That's all he is. You should be in his position. You have 10 times better advice. I guarantee it. You have 10 times better advice than this prick. I'm looking, like I said, I'm looking for 100 people. All right, the people that I'll work with, they share similar ideas. They share the same vision. They want to rule the world. They have something important to contribute, right? They are subject matter experts, or they want to become a subject matter expert in any field that they like. And the way it works is people come to me, and for example, say if you don't know what you are an expert on, we figure out together what you are interested in. You will dedicate your life to becoming an expert at that thing, right? And because you are truly passionate about it, you will succeed. You'll become an expert. Once you become an expert, people will look to you as the authority. People will come to you for your opinion. You'll gain a following. You'll gain fame. Once you have fame, people will be like, oh, that person must be important because he's got a lot of followers. He's famous. Money will start pouring in. Business opportunities, social opportunities. The hottest women in the world want to date you. How long does it take? If you're smart, it can take about a year, 2 years, right? If you're if you're not smart, right, maybe 3 years, right? But you'll make money along the way. You'll gain a following along the way. People will just because you're taking action, all right. Within the first 6 months, people want to date you because you have this ambition. Right, the most attractive thing in the world is ambition. Yeah, that is what women look for. They look for ambition. If you're able to communicate that, you'll be drowning in pussy. I guarantee it. But I don't want you drowning in pussy. Pussy is pussy, right? I want you drowning in money. That's what I want for you. I want you drowning in money. I want you drowning in resources. I want you to build a kingdom. I want you to join me and build a kingdom alongside myself. Become my friend. And together we'll rule the world. If you're interested, hit me up on rawinstinct.com. I can't be asked to this guy anymore. So for today, that's enough. Peace.